Okay. Have you ever sat on a rocket, lit the fuse, and stayed on to tell about it? Barrel racing, a sport where women are on top of a 1,000-pound animal running as fast as they can while trying to communicate with this animal to make 3 turns around 55-gallon barrels. On this topic, I will be going over how the sport got started with its history, the logic of what the sport is, and how it's grown today. Per the Wrangler Network, barrel racing got started in 1931. There was a weekend rodeo in Sanford, Texas, where they decided to add girls that were 16 years old and older, and they were judged on 3 different aspects: the best mount, the most attractive riding outfit, and the best horsemanship. The horsemanship was demonstrated by riding in a figure 8 around 2 55-gallon barrels. In 1935, Sanford changed the pattern to a clover leaf to make it a little more difficult. The sport started to grow more, and other rodeos implemented this women's event. In 1948 is when they introduced the Girl Rodeo Association, known as GRA, and it consisted of 74 members and as few as 60 approved tour events, mainly in Texas, and which later changed their name in 1981 to the Women's Professional Rodeo Association, WPRA, and it still exists today. As mentioned earlier, barrel racing is now a cloverleaf pattern, basically a triangle consisting of the 3 55-gallon barrels. For the WPRA, Women's Professional Rodeo Association, they do have a standard measurement of where the barrel should be at. So between the first and second, so the first barrel, second barrel, is 90 feet apart from each other. And then from the third barrel, it's equal of 105 feet from these 2 barrels. And they will set up timers that will time the event 45 feet from these 2 barrels. The rider can either go to the right, which is to this barrel, cross over to this barrel, and then straight up around the third and come straight back through the timer. They can switch it either to going to this direction, but it still comes over here, crosses over, straight, and then straight back. So it all depends on which horse, kind of with the horses, they have a prefer a right side or a left side. And so whatever the rider feels comfortable, as long as it's the same pattern switched. Many factors play in having it safe for the horse and the rider. You can have different ground styles. Texas ground is a lot different than the northwestern ground. You don't want it too deep because you can have a lot of issues with the horses getting hurt, and you don't want it too hard where they can slip and fall. When the rider does go in competition with a professional rodeo, they do have a requirement of a dress code. They have to now wear a long sleeve shirt that's buttoned up, cowboy hat or a helmet, cowboy boots, and jeans. And here's a photo of one of the back in the old days of a lady riding or running in barrels. It's kind of changed up a little bit, but not too much. So the WPRA has 16 board members today and consists of barrel racing and breakaway roping. They have different programs to get many people involved, such as the Futurity Derby program, which is young horses just starting to compete. These horses are about 4 or 5 years old, and it's their first year of competition. Junior barrel racing to encourage our young girls to start competing and getting involved, and a roping program that they're actually trying to start introduce into the professional rodeos now. So the WPRA is now held over the United States, where professionals travel all over to make the National Finals Rodeo, known as the NFR, held in Las Vegas beginning of December, where they take the top 15 girls in the world. So as of this year, the 2019 2008. It's ended on 10/23/2018. And these are the girls that have made the NFR and are going to the National Finals Rodeo in Las Vegas in December. Over here, you can see where they kind of how many rodeos they have attended. Some attended more, some attended less. She's #1 in the world right now, but the NFR has also a high payout. So a girl that's sitting 10th can advance up to #1, and it has been seen before. Some of the legends in barrel racing, just to introduce a few, is Sherry Serby, Charmaine James, and Christy Peterson. Sherry Serby, down here, is the first girl to achieve the $2 million mark in her career earnings and has 4 world titles. Charmaine James has attended or attained 11 world titles, and 10 of those were by the age of 14. And then Christy Peterson and Charmaine, really quick, she was the first cowgirl to obtain $1 million in her career earnings. Christy Peterson was the second, and she has 10 world titles. So, like I said, with the ground, it can either be a safe or a bad. Horses can get caught up if it's too deep, or even when it's too hard, they can slip and fall. Not for the faint of heart, but we have a passion for it. So when you attend your next rodeo and watch one of these events, know that cowgirls are doing this for their living, spending countless of hours traveling all over the U.S. to attend rodeos and achieve their dreams of going to the national finals. Sorry about that. And then here, I will show a video. This is the standard course that I said before of the measurements. This girl is a local girl. She's in the Walla Walla, Washington, and this race was held at the Grand Finals back in 2010, and she actually achieved the world record of the fastest time with the 16:643, I believe. It has been beaten now, but I think it was cool that a local girl was able to attain it. Oh, everybody's down.
This is her fifth year running in the top 20. She's riding a horse called by Angus French Girl. She calls her Blondie. This is an 8-year-old. She's been running 3 years or so. She just wants me to take a moment and thank her family.
So the Grand Finals is also a section where you can go and run. It's a
Ladies and
jackpot.
gentlemen, Nicole Ackley! Let's do it. The last one, the fastest time of the finals until the top 20. This is Nicole Ackley riding Blondie.
For the NFR with 192,834 standings. This is last year at the NFR. She crushed the arena record there. Before it was a 1346 of arena record, and here last year is when she crushed the arena record with this run.
They have been so fast. Here comes Haley Kinzel. She's tops in the average at the moment. We're about 41,000. And she's number 6 in the world standings.
Yeah, our little horse sister. All right. 2 good turns. This is a really nice horse. She sets up this third and final turn. A tough round already. We've only seen 2 runs, nothing over 14. You gotta be kidding me.
13-11.
Holy
So we're the
cow.
previous
Everybody's
record
waiting to
was
see if that would be a
13-42.
mistake.
Ran a 13-11, basically annihilated that arena record. So I hope when you kind of think of barrel racing, or when you attend your next rodeo, know about these girls. These are girls are making their life living and invest a lot of money into these horses and their time and the travel, and know a little bit more about barrel racing.